World of Tanks can be a pretty fun game. What's better than blowing up tanks with other tanks to unlock more tanks? Yet not everyone's cut out for that competitive online tank-on-tank action. But what if you could roll a tank into the field, fight against a whole bunch of other tanks, tank-like creatures, and weird-ass monstrosities while also scavenging the post-apocalyptic wilderness and ruins for weapons and upgrades like a super violent Pacific Drive? Well, now you can with TankHead. Dive into the role of this little floating pill bot as you begin your journey by transferring your consciousness into a floating saucer bot and mount yourself onto a tank that is actually not a tank since it doesn't have any tracks. But we'll call this armored fighting vehicle a tank because AFV head doesn't quite have the same ring to it. After you get your new armored beast fully functional and stacked with guns, ammo, engines, and rolling the hottest rims, you can catch a ride from this thing to your exciting new mission area. Here you'll be able to navigate a map filled with nearly decipherable icons that will lead you into various hideouts, bases, and industrial machinery, all protected by strange robotic enemies conveniently comprised of tank parts and gadgets you'll be able to pry from their cold, dead sprockets. But only after you blast them to a quick death with your main cannon or any one of a number of secondary weapons like rockets, missiles, machine guns, and a collection of sci-fi magic devices that do fun things like knock undamaged parts off their chassis. Then you can pop your saucer head off the top of your makeshift war jalopy and scout around, scooping up parts and ammo directly for your tank, or dissolving them into a delicious powder of salvaged goods that you can sprinkle on your tank to repair it much less efficiently. You'll also use this time to dive into the dark recesses of this world in the shadow of some mysterious catastrophe/anomaly to unlock story secrets along with the resources you'll need to progress. You'll even find old and active saucer-headed robots you can crack open to steal their mind chips for your own personal gain. But don't get too comfortable buzzing around the collected detritus looking for gems because the mysterious force resisting your scavenging will chuck tanks at you from the sky and you'll need to haul ass back to your rolling armored gun box to unleash your collected fury at them. Yet if you are successful at turning your tank into a death machine covered in layered armor, multiple weapons, and other perpetually broken parts, you can venture to the mission objectives that involve you suctioning your robotic ass to some kind of people pod and getting the data you need. With enough of that data, you can head to the center of the map and summon from the earth whatever the hell these creatures are. And once you do, you'll be locked into a ringed boss fight of blasting away at glowing weak points until that trash beast comes tumbling down. However, there's a good chance it might crush your salvaged metallic turd into an unrecognizable tank patty, leaving you with an option to either choose one of your refits to come back to life on the map with only the parts you started with, or retreat back to the base and start the whole thing over. But if you fill that monster machine full of hot lead and leave it face down, ass up, you'll be treated to a psychedelic montage and get to move on to the next map of scavenging fun. TankHead, the joy of fiery armored combat perfectly balanced with the heart-pumping thrill of looking for useful garbage. The rise of extraction games has certainly led to a lot of similarity, but the innovation I've seen in recent games has been much more appealing than what the genre typically offers. I was a big fan of the combat-free Pacific Drive, and I definitely like the concept of what TankHead offers. The abandoned post-apocalyptic environment of the maps works well with the integration of the retro sci-fi style and garbage punk enemies that are thrown at you. The scavenging aspect that outfits your tank lets you shape it more to your playstyle, whether that's moving fast and taking quick shots from cover or tanking shots and unloading on enemies with heavy firepower. And the pacing of that action keeps you on your toes even when you spend a disproportionate amount of time just looking for things at various map icons. Yet it's far from perfect. The combat feels a little flat, hardly like the technical gameplay of the visually similar World of Tanks, but still relying on similar precision both in protecting your tank parts and focusing enemy parts. It also feels like there's a lack of variety in the components you can unlock in the relatively short trio of missions. And while those missions start out teasing what I assume was a mysterious and compelling story, it culminates in a rush, seemingly random ending that makes the whole thing feel incomplete. Yet the weirdest thing is, while there are clearly some parts using good quality, presumably real voice actors, there are other parts that exhibit the telltale signs of AI-generated voices with awkwardly phrased lines and emphasis on the incorrect words and sentences.
Nah, dog. I'm good, let's go shoot something.
There also aren't voice actors listed for specific roles in the credits, so I'm not really sure what the details are, but the results are definitely inconsistent. Yet even with these various issues, the core gameplay loop is still enjoyable enough to justify the abbreviated score of OK. And if you'd like to explore the various issues of some other games, along with plenty of hot takes, warm satire, and tepid commentary, like this video and check out these other abbreviated reviews.